Hey everybody, it's Richard Allen from InsideDirtRacing.com. Hoping you have a great Christmas season. Here's now we're approaching the holidays and have finally wrapped up on much of the dirt late model season. Although there's virtually no off season in this sport, as we've just finished up the races at the Dome, and now it won't be long till we'll be firing engines back up. As a matter of fact, it'll be in January. They've moved the National 100 because it got rained out back when it was supposed to be run in November, and they've moved it to January, so it won't be long. And then right after that, we'll have the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series firing up early on in February at Golden Isle Speedway, and then moving on to East Bay. We'll have the World of Outlaws Late Model Series. They'll be at Screven Motorsports Park, and then they'll move on down to Volusia after that. So racing season rarely doesn't take much of a break, but we are in that little small window that we have where the racing action isn't going on, but that doesn't mean there's not plenty of action. It's just been a wild and woolly silly season this year, or what. Right after the World of Outlaw World Finals in Charlotte had concluded, we kind of had a little dead spell there for a week or so, when people were starting to ask the question, what's happened to silly season? All these rumors that we've been hearing, why are they not coming to fruition? Well, did they ever come to fruition or what? Now here over the last couple of weeks, we've had so much news to come pouring in that you can't hardly keep up with all of it. So that's what I thought I would do in this little broadcast, is just kind of recap some of the things that have taken place here over the last couple of weeks. And let's start off with the big time guys right away. Former Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series champion, former World of Outlaws Late Model Series champion Josh Richards has left the Best Performance Motorsports team. They've parted ways, and Richards will now take up residence with Clint Bowyer Racing in the coming season, the 2019 season, and that is going to unite not only a guy who's won all those championships on both the national tours, but it's going to unite him with a team that has also won a Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series championship, as they won with Don O'Neill several years ago. So it'll be fun to watch to see if they can both kind of rekindle that magic, and both of them go on to a championship or a lot of big wins this year. I know Clint Bowyer, no doubt looking forward to it, and no doubt Josh Richards is as well. As that team will switch over to Rockets. Had been running the Club 29 chassis while Darrell Lanigan had been there, but now they'll bring the more familiar Rocket chassis that Josh Richards has run his entire career from out of his father Mark's stable up in West Virginia, and then with Best Motorsports, and now with Clint Bowyer Racing. So we'll see if they find instant success, or if it takes a while, or if they don't find any success at all. We'll see how that plays out. But of course, with Richards coming in, that means that somebody's leaving out. Darrell Lanigan is leaving from Clint Bowyer Racing. He's going back home to Kentucky, going to run that familiar number 29. He's going to stick with those Club 29 chassis, even though he's going to be producing them without the association that he'd had before with Ronnie Stuckey, who does the Black Diamond chassis. Lanigan's now going to be out on his own, but he'll be producing his own chassis and racing for his own team back in a familiar number 29, again coming out of Union, Kentucky. It looks like he's going to go back to the World of Outlaws Tour, where he's won championships and won so many races there. So let's see how that goes too. But not only that, speaking of guys going back to their own team, Bobby Pierce parted ways with Dunn Benson Motorsports, as that has been out there for a couple of weeks now, and he's going back to his own family team once more, and we'll see. They haven't, I don't believe they've said yet whether they're going to run one of the national tours. I know that had been talked about, that they might stay with the Lucas Oil Tour if the sponsorship comes to fruition for them, or if not, they may go back to running a regional series. You know, Pierce is just such a force on the Summer Nationals that would make sense for them to run a regional tour if they don't have the funding available to go out nationally, and he always does so well around the Ohio, Indiana, Illinois areas up there. So that certainly would not be a step back for him, as they're always running near the front. And with the Dunn Benson ride being vacated by Pierce, and somebody has to take that place, and that's going to be Devin Moran, who will be heading to North Carolina. He and his brother Wiley are going to move to North Carolina to work on those cars. They're going to run on the Lucas Oil Series full-time in 2019. Of course, Devin is the son of the legendary Donnie Moran, who was the $1 Million Man, winning the big $1 Million race at Eldora a couple of decades ago. And now Devin will be looking to win some big races of his own in that Dunn Benson ride. So that'll be exciting to see how that plays out. Also, we had some other pieces of news that have been out there for a while. You've got Brandon Overton, who will be going to drive for Joey Coulter, the former NASCAR Camping World Truck Series driver, who, because of his wife's job commitments, they're having to move to Texas, so Joey's not going to be able to race as often as he was, but he's going to put Brandon Overton in that car. We saw Brandon Overton have a lot of success when he drove for Randy Weaver, and then last year in the 76 ride that he was in, he won some big races, was competitive everywhere he went, and there's no reason to think that won't be the case in the Coulter car, which they're going to run rocket chassis, so that no doubt be a formula for success there with that organization. Mike Marlar made big news, the defending World of Outlaw Late Model Series champion, coming off the road. He's not going to run a full national tour, but he got together with Kevin Rumley and Leroy Rumley, and going to kind of reform the K&L Rumley team that had so much success with Jonathan Davenport back in 2015. Looks like they're going to run a regional schedule, and they're also going to hit a lot of the big shows, the Crown Jewel races. And you know Marlar is going to be a force in those cars. They're going to have Longhorn cars, so they will be tough to beat wherever they show up. And not running a national series will give them opportunity to really focus on winning the big races. So that's got to be exciting for Marlar. Of course, Marlar from East Tennessee. Folks around here are looking forward to seeing how well he does. And speaking of the World of Outlaws Tour, with him being the former champion, one of the guys he just was able to beat out last year, Chris Madden, has left the Barry Wright Race Cars house car, and he's going to be going to a team owned by Greg Bruning out of Iowa. They're going to run Capital cars. Madden had almost got into a Capital ride a year or two ago, and now that is going to come to fruition. And one thing that looks to be a positive for that is that he'll be on the World of Outlaws Late Model Series once again, along with Shane Clanton. Clanton has been kind of a lone warrior out on that tour with the Capital cars, and now he'll have Madden running alongside him, and they'll be able to share information. They have a pretty good working relationship anyway, and both of them are great competitors and won a lot of races, so that'll no doubt lift up Capital and will lift up both of their programs as well. Not that their programs need a lot of lifting up, but they're going to be able to rely on each other. So as you can tell, there's a lot of news out there, and I'm probably leaving some out. But there's a lot of reason to be excited for 2019, and it's not far away. And if you'll check on InsideDirtRacing.com, we not only have recaps of all these moves that I've talked about, but we also have schedule news as well. The World of Outlaws schedule's out. The Lucas Oil schedule's out. Ray Cook released the schedules for his tours, and remember, big news for Ray. He's going to continue having the Spring Nationals as he has, and also continue with his traditional Southern Nationals, but then he has added Fall Nationals this year, sort of taking the place of the Southern Nationals bonus series, which those races were kind of scattered throughout the calendar, and now everything's more concentrated, obviously, in the spring, summer, and the fall with his races. And something I'm looking forward to with Ray's tours, he's going to be having a couple of races, one in the spring and one in the fall, at the Clay Valley Speedway, which is up in Coburn, Virginia, which is one of the more well-known pavement short tracks around. But that track was once called Lonesome Pines, now called Clay Valley. It's been covered in dirt, so I never made it up there when it was a pavement track. I'm really looking forward to going and hitting some of those races that Ray's going to have under his banner. The Ultimate Super Late Model Series schedule is out. I believe we have that posted on InsideDirtRacing.com. No doubt very soon, Southern All-Stars, Carolina Clash, some of the other series that we cover on the website will also be putting their schedules out. But there's a lot to look forward to, and I can't wait. I don't know about you. I haven't been to a racetrack in 2 weeks, and I'm already kind of suffering from some withdrawals. So hopefully that will be fixed pretty soon. I know the hangover race at the end of December is coming up at 411 Motor Speedway, and then from there we will just take off, and we'll hit the road as many times as we can, as many times as my wife will let me get away. We'll be out there, and hopefully you'll be coming along with us with InsideDirtRacing.com. Of course, always live updates when it's race time, and a lot of feature stories that we've got out there right now. So check all those out. Make sure and hit the website daily, as we put a lot of new content on there frequently. I hope everybody has a great Christmas season. No doubt I'll be doing some of these before Christmas rolls back around, but if not, hope everything goes great for you and yours. Hope you have a great Christmas. Hope you have a great New Year's. And I look forward to talking to you again. But again, this is Richard Allen from InsideDirtRacing.com, wishing you the best.